I remember during my journey of public education, some assignments we received were sponsored by McDonald's. That may be the best possible metaphor for education today. 40 kids to a classroom, the teacher isn't paid enough to give a shit. He gives a lecture straight from the textbook while we're barely awake. Getting distracted by our friends throwing notes, then he makes us fill out a paper. It's fill in the blank. Match and bold in terms from the pages of your textbook from the chapter where he boringly lectured. The key terms go in the blanks of the worksheet. It's set up to where our minds are barely taking in the items on autopilot for the assignment. He sits by his desk staring at his computer, ignoring us while we spend the rest of class talking shit to each other, barely reminded that work was assigned at all. The difference between a teacher who cares and doesn't is whether you're given any cause to see beauty in the subjects. We've all grown up to be documentary buffs. We obviously care about history enough to where they could have made us engaged. But the educational system is one step away from falling apart at the seams. They can't afford to be critical of the quality of any teacher teaching. Do you realize how much of a shortage there is of teachers? The last line of defense between an uneducated population, and yet we pay them so minimally that public education has to take whatever they can get. We as a society will let our kids be educated by McDonald's and then be upset that kids are dumb as if we couldn't have upgraded their education. But as soon as anyone suggests ways to create better precedents in quality of education, like upping funding or changing the way education funding is tied to property taxes, so those who stay in poor neighborhoods don't get poor education like it is today, we're enraged. Don't want to pay 1 cent to schools, but you have no solutions outside of this, so it's lose-lose. The school I went to with McDonald's worksheets was a charter school, so if you think charter schools improve education quality, I can testify that's not true. You're splitting funding, it's game theory. Your attempt to compete with a poor public education model makes both options obsolete. Worse than it would have been if there was no competition. And usually I'll get someone saying, just homeschool your kids. Like both parents don't have to work 40 hours a week just to afford to live. The vast majority couldn't do this. And the vast majority aren't well educated because of a trash system. Them educating's a bigger risk. The truth is most children are born with the potential to be brilliant, and by neglecting to give them an optimal environment for development, we kill off that next Einstein for a guy who puts lettuce and ketchup in your sandwich when you're sitting in a drive-thru. A job that will be replaced by AI soon. Honestly, to me, you're not caring that poor brown kids are deprived of truly quality education is more racist than some guy who says the N-word on Omegle. That's just a word. You're letting a child be dehumanized because you don't prioritize their lives through formative years. It's the silent genocide of the beautiful geniuses we could all be. But you don't give a fuck, so we're left being asked if you want to supersize that iced tea. Cause there's a deal going on right now where you can supersize your iced tea at no extra charge.